Today, I'm going to explain Goosebumps, a 2015 American drama and fantasy film. The film begins with Zach Cooper and his mother, Gail, who have just moved to Madison, Delaware to start a new life after his father's death. Zach suspects that someone is spying on him from the house next door when they move into their new home. He ignores the mysterious man and enters the house, where his aunt, Lorraine, appears and greets them. As a welcome gift to the town, she also gives Zach a bedazzled hat. He reluctantly wears it because his mother forces him to. Hannah, a teenager from the house next door, greets Zach from the window as he unloads the boxes from the car. However, her obnoxious father abruptly intervenes and warns Zach to stay away from his daughter for no apparent reason. Gail inadvertently pulls an old picture of his husband from the box, causing Zach to recall happy times with his father. The next day, Zach goes to high school, where his mother, to his surprise, is the new vice principal. All of the students gather on the basketball court to greet her, and Zach meets his first friend, Champ. Gail gives an opening speech at the same time, but it appears that the students are not pleased with her presence. Zach is taking out the trash at his new house when Hannah surprises him by sneaking in through the broken fence. He inquires about fun places in town, and she directs him to the woods across the street. They eventually arrive at an abandoned amusement park, where they climb the Ferris wheel and sit in one of the carts with a great view of town. When they get home, Hannah's father confronts Zach and gives him one last warning before something bad happens. That evening, Zach overhears Hannah arguing with her father, who has forbidden her from seeing Zach again. From a distance, it appears that the father loses control and Hannah screams, causing Zach to panic and rush to Hannah's house. The father tells the boy not to interfere with their family business and then closes the door. Zach dials 911, concerned that Hannah is in danger. Steve and Brooks, two rookie officers, arrive with Gail and Zach and question the father. He claims that he is currently living alone because Hannah flew to London the day before. They are startled to hear another scream, which turns out to be from a movie. Because no evidence of domestic violence is discovered, the officers leave the house while warning Zach about the consequences of filing a false report. Gail has to chaperone the school dance and asks Lorraine to look after Zach. Recognizing that the argument is still going on, Zach asks Champ, who is passing by, to accompany him after he disguises himself as a cop and orders Hannah's father to go to the police station by phone. They sneak into the house through the basement full of bear traps and go upstairs as soon as the father drives away. The two come across a bookcase full of locked manuscripts of old Goosebumps stories written by a man named R.L. Stine. Zach discovers a key that allows him to read The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. Hannah confronts them soon after and discovers that they have unlocked a book. Zach inadvertently opens the book, releasing a massive abominable snowman into the room. Champ throws the lamp, attracting the beast's attention. While running towards Champ, it destroys the bookcase. Fortunately, he is rescued by Zach, and the beast flees. Hannah grabs the book, and the three pursue the snowman. Meanwhile, one of the manuscripts opens on its own. Hannah, Champ, and Zach pursue the beast to a skating rink, where the snowman appears from the scoreboard holding a candy vending machine. The monster spots them just as Hannah is about to resuck it into the book and attacks them. Zach manages to toss the book out of the arena, preventing the snowman from obtaining it. It eventually surrounds them and attempts to shatter the glass, but Hannah's father appears from behind and sucks the beast back into the book. He then yells angrily at the teenagers to get into the car. On their way, Zach and Champ discover that Hannah's father is R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps stories who vanished a long time ago. Stine orders the boys to return home while he begins packing his belongings to relocate to another town. They insist on staying and demand that Stine explain what is going on. He reveals that because he was not allowed to leave the house, he formed his own friends to terrorize his neighborhood, and they bullet him for it. He adds that the creatures from the books became real one day, forcing him to lock them away. Stine walks to the bookcase to collect all the books, but he discovers that one of the most evil creatures, Slappy, has jumped off the book. He burns his own book in order to prevent Stine from rearresting him. Slappy steals all of the books and unleashes a slew of terrifying creatures along the way, haunting the entire town. The town's communication has been disrupted as a result of the invasion. Stine and the teenagers, on the other hand, rush to the kitchen, only to find a horde of murderous dwarfs waiting to attack them. They try to smash the dwarfs, but are overwhelmed when the dwarfs keep putting their pieces back together, forcing them to flee to the basement and escape the house. Stine and the others discover that all of the books have been burned in order to keep the creatures from being sucked back in. Back to Slappy. He brings two aliens to the police station, where they use their fancy weapons to freeze the rookie officers. Stine and the teenagers arrive in the town center, where the creatures have indeed made a complete mess. Zach suggests that Stine write a new manuscript telling a story in order to capture all of the creatures. Stine initially rejects and dismisses Zach's suggestion, but he soon realizes that there is no other way to save the town. They first drive to Zach's high school, where Stine's magical typewriter is hidden. On their way, they were met by an invisible creature known as Invisible Boy. Fortunately, they are still able to get him out of the car. They also come across a massive praying mantis that attacks them. The car eventually rolls over, and the empty car is crushed by the mantis. They flee to the supermarket, where they discover a hungry wild werewolf. Champ, as usual, makes some noises, causing the monster to notice and begin chasing them. Stine tries to cover his odor with a bottle of perfume, but it doesn't work. The beast pursues the humans who escape through the back door of the supermarket, but the monster easily breaks the door and corners them until Lorraine arrives and hits the werewolf with her car. While the group continues to head towards the high school via a shortcut, Zach orders Lorraine to report the situation to the police. Lorraine rushes into the police station and discovers that no one is there. Slappy appears out of nowhere and freezes her as well. The moonlight shines on Hannah as she walks through the cemetery, revealing that Hannah is not real. Zach is aware of this, but says nothing to her. Ghouls and zombies emerge from the grave and begin terrorizing them. They manage to flee the cemetery and capture the creatures. When they arrive at school, Zach confronts Stine about Hannah. He acknowledges Hannah is one of his creations, and both men are terrified of losing her. They locate the typewriter, and Stine begins writing while the teenagers distract him. When they arrive at the dance hall, Zach climbs on stage to warn everyone about the approaching monsters. Nobody believes him, and they even mock him until the giant mantis bursts through the ceiling and captures a teacher. Everyone flees for their lives and seals off the exit door for safety as Slappy continues to unleash more and more creatures. After the army is formed, Slappy assigns the monsters a mission to eliminate Stine. The creatures infiltrate the school and begin attacking the students and faculty. The werewolf enters the school corridor and nearly attacks Champ's crush before the hero arrives and bites the werewolf with his silver filings. Champ's bravery impresses his crush, who rewards him with a kiss on the lips. Meanwhile, Slappy tracks down Stine and breaks his fingers before he can complete the story. While running through the corridor, Zach and Hannah grab the typewriter and are attacked by a murderous plant. While the monsters try to break in, the students and staff congregate on the basketball court. Recognizing that the creatures are pursuing Stine, Zach devises a plan to lure the creatures out of the school with a fake school bus, and then use explosives from the chem lab to blow out the monsters and buy them some time. Stine and the teenagers return to the deserted amusement park and decide to take refuge in the House of Mirrors. Slappy soon follows them into the funhouse and chastises Stine for putting him in the book. The blob that ate everyone is then unleashed. Stine hands over the book pages in handwriting to Zach, allowing him to finish the final line before being apprehended by the slimy monster. The teenagers ride the Ferris wheel, and Zach eventually finishes the story as the monsters approach. The Ferris wheel is attacked by a giant mantis, causing it to break and roll through the woods. Hannah directs Zach to open the book when the teenagers arrive in an open area. He initially refuses because it means he will also lose Hannah, and he is not prepared for that. Hannah, it turns out, has known the truth about her as well, and she finally opens the book for him, creating a massive portal that draws all the monsters back into the book. Slappy holds Stine for a while before kicking the evil creature, which flies back into the book. Finally, Hannah, who transforms into a blue transparent form, kisses Zach one last time before being drawn back to the book. Following that, the town begins to recover from the massive damage caused by the creatures, and the students return to school. Stine is also appointed as Zach's new English teacher. Stine surprises Zach after class by bringing Hannah back to life. He then burns the manuscript in order for the couple to remain together. The new teacher then checks on his magical typewriter. The invisible boy, it turns out, was not sucked back into the book, and he begins typing a manuscript titled The Invisible Boy's Revenge. Stine is greeted by the creature, who screams in terror. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.